The movie boss category team pretty much remains my favorite team at this point. It is just so good being able to run this team. You've got Turles as the best support unit in the game. You have tons of LRs. Let's not forget, by the way, that when the Broly movie drops this year and he comes to Dokkan, he is going to be on the movie boss category team, and he is going to look so damn good next to this Turles. So you know that your boy had to jump on the chance to pull the last couple copies of Turles that I needed. I remember getting shafted really badly on his original banner, where I think I pulled 2 quickly, but then I dropped like another 3k stones and did not pull like another copy of him. It was something like that with Turles, but I'm glad to have finally gotten the last couple copies. So now let's go in to an event. Let's take a look at how the movie boss category works with this bad boy now rainbowed. Alright guys, so that Frieza banner has made some changes to one of my favorite teams in the game. Now that I have Turles fully rainbowed, I mean, with Turles himself, the damage he outputs is not really as important as the other things he does, but one reason I really do like rainbowing my support type units a lot of the times is that will really mitigate the amount of damage that they will sustain. So like same thing with like Int Metal Cooler, right? Normally if you run Int Metal Cooler on the team, like, you know, you have him 0 or 1% in the dupe system, and, you know, if he gets hit or tagged at the end of one of those rotations, you know, he might take, what, 30k damage? 40k damage? You know, if you're fighting UI Goku, 50k damage? So that's why I do like rainbowing basically any unit I'm going to use, right? So if it's a unit I frequently will run on a team, I got no problem rainbowing it if I do have all of the necessary dupes. So now we also have the new Tech Frieza, who has released on the movie boss team, which he is, I think, a substantial unit for the team. You can now run several different rotations on this team that work very, very well. You could do Int Metal Cooler plus the LR Metal Cooler core. You could do, you know, of course, the Tech Frieza plus, you know, Physical Cooler, or Tech Golden Frieza. You got LR Bojack plus any of the Bojacks. You could do LR Beerus plus any of the Beeruses. You could do LR Broly plus his TUR version of himself. There's many, many different combos that work really well now on this movie boss category team. I am impressed at how much it has gotten buffed, really, since it first released. I mean, it started good. Yeah, look at that. No damage whatsoever. And there he is. Look at that. A 1 million attack stat. Casually. Right after that. That's a support type unit! Over 1 million! Like, there's certain units who are rainbowed who might struggle to get to a 1 million attack stat. And then there's Turles. Just very casually, like, fuck it, bro. I got it. 1 mil, that's nothing. That's light work for Turles. And then the rest of his team can, you know, zip him up. Oh, actually, I didn't double check. The rotations are going to be a little wonky here. Not exactly how I envisioned it at all. Okay, so we're going to leave Cooler here. And I'm actually going to establish the Bojack rotation on the other end. Because, you know, we've seen LR Bojack, you know, steal the show in a million videos I've done. I feel like I've properly shown to people how good LR Bojack is. Final Form Cooler maybe doesn't get as much play because right now, really the only category team where he's a significant threat on is, of course, this movie boss team. I mean, Physical Cooler would work very well on Frieza's extreme type team, but, you know, I feel as though there's, for the most part, no purpose in running the extreme team or the super team. I mean, we will see. It's just the upgraded leader skills do make some of these other teams a lot more, you know, just a lot better. So, yeah, we'll do this. I am going to leave Turles. No, I'm not. I was going to leave Turles right there, so I could see how much he would tank, but he wouldn't have been able to super attack, so we won't do that. And then Frieza's in the last slot. I want to push him to go link up with Final Form Cooler, but, I mean, like this is also a perfect example, by the way. I do feel as though the movie boss category team is the best spot for the transforming Frieza. Like, we're closing in on the end of the fight, and Frieza just showed up for the first time, and he's second form Frieza. Like, there is no way we're gonna reach final form Frieza before this fight finishes up. It's just not like a realistic thing. And this, this is, for Global, this is one of their most recent Dokkan Fest boss fights. For JP, this is 5, 6, 7 boss fights back, but it's still, a top tier fight, I would say. This also could be one of the ones in the newest version of Boss Rush, which should be coming very soon. I don't know. I think the new Boss Rush comes along with the LR Goku and Frieza card that's going to be dropping at some point next week, I believe, on the 13th of September or the 14th, something like that, during part 2 of the 250 million download celebration. We're going to get the new Boss Rush stage. We get some sort of Jiren EZA event, and we're also going to get the LR Goku and Frieza card. All of those will come together. Okay. This is, again, going to be a very good test for Turles in the back end right there of how well he will hold up against damage from a very tough boss. Because one thing about the LR Vegito and Super Gogeta boss fights, that's for sure, is that because of the fact they're just one typing the whole way through, they can seem a little lackluster sometimes, right? That's why, jeez. We're going to one-turn him. Yeah. If Turles gets an additional, he could take him down for sure. Let's see. So there's Turles at 900k. He supers additional. Okay. We're gonna get super by LR Vegito here. I don't think LR Vegito, does he lower defense? I don't think so. God, that super attack does look so nice. 140k is significant, and then he's only taking about 16k from normal attacks from LR Super Vegito. Not bad. Very pleasantly surprised with what I've seen from our boy there. I'm curious. Let's see how well Frieza is able to withstand blows from this Super Vegito as well. Being a tech type unit. This is third form Frieza. So, wow. Okay. As Frieza transforms more and more, he really becomes more of only, an offense-oriented weapon. And there we go, by the way. Look at that attack stat. And again, he's third form Frieza. That was not final form Frieza. That was not golden Frieza. That was third form Frieza putting up a ridiculous attack stat like that. So now the movie boss category team is just absolutely beautiful. Not upset whatsoever with that. Okay, so we completed an event. I feel like Turles, like we know how good he is now, right? Global, he just released on Global, so a lot of you guys are very familiar with, some of the things about Turles. Let's quickly go over him, and we will finish up for today. So this is Explosive Evolution Turles. He is the movie boss category leader of 3 key, HP, attack, and defense 150%, and then he also gives extreme types 3 key, HP, attack, and defense 50%. This is my ideal World Tournament leader. This is who I always use. Even with Frieza now being a unit on both GP and Global, I still will use Turles. The reason for this is that Turles does have that nasty passive of his where he's giving key to all allies, which will be very useful in the World Tournament for, speed running it, right? With LR Cell, with, LR Broly, with the int Raditz, the free-to-play Raditz at 100%, and they're sort of moving quickly. Turles will be able to support those units, whereas Frieza, is just like a normal, attacking unit. He heals and stuff, but he's not really supporting LR Broly or supporting LR Cell or any of those types of things. So that's why I will actually use Turles as my leader for the World Tournament. The other thing, too, is Turles is, at the moment, still the only leader for the movie boss category. I would not be surprised if at some point they brought in a second movie boss category leader. I suppose the upcoming movie Broly could be another leader for the category. I do think that is a wise thing that they can do with a lot of these categories, is have secondary leaders. So that way, let's say someone, for whatever reason, really wanted to run Int Turles or Tech Turles on the team, for whatever reason, boom, there you'd have your chance. You could run like the new Dragon Ball Super Broly as Movie Boss category leader. So that is something I hope they continue to do with other categories. They have done it with a few now, the Android category and the Patara category and Fusion categories. And I hope they continue that trend. So Turles' super attack is the Meteor Burst, which does immense damage with a medium chance to stun the enemy. His passive skill, Universe Destroyer's Ace in the Hole, is all allies key 3 and attack 40%. He lowers super type enemies' attack by 15%, and then he activates the Fruit of the Tree of Might boost when conditions are met, which of course is a 25% chance to activate for 3 turns when HP is 80% or below. For the most part, you don't want Turles' transformation to activate. It's not that he's bad when he transforms, it's just you're going to be going into events like counting on Turles' passive buff to all allies as a support type unit. Like, you're not really going to, factor in his transformation and be ready to support him unless you're running like a rotation of Turles and Great Ape Turles. At that point, if Turles transformed, this Turles, after he transforms and he's linked with Great Ape Turles, he can do monster damage. He could be well over an attack set of 2 million, but it is, of course, a little hard to set up because you can't consistently get Turles' transformation to activate, right? So his links are Destroyer of the Universe, Saiyan Warrior Race, Prepare for Battle, Thirst for Conquest, Brutal Beatdown, Big Bad Bosses, and Fierce Battle. So he does have a pretty good villain link set, having Thirst for Conquest, Brutal Beatdown, Big Bad Bosses, and Fierce Battle. And then, of course, if he's linked up with maybe like another Broly unit or a Goku Black unit, Prepare for Battle can come into play as well. 12 key multiplier, 150%. And then he has 3 categories. Low Class Warrior, which is this one right here. He also has the Movie Boss category right there, one of my favorite categories in the game. And then he's also on the Pure Saiyan team, where he is a phenomenal option, especially with all of the units this team now has, the new transforming Goku, so many different options. He's very useful there. Now, and then of course he does have his transform state. Now, when he transforms, the only 2 things that change are his super attack and his passive. His super attack becomes the Calamity Blaster, which does immense damage with a high chance to stun the enemy, and his passive skill becomes Universe Destroyer's Threat, where he gets an attack and defensive buff of 130%, just like Jiren. He recovers 15% HP, and then super type enemies defense minus 80% at the start of turn. So, again, he's not bad when he transforms, it's just he's in the running for like best unit in the game when he's not transformed. That's the only thing. It's just he's so good. 3 key and 40% attack for all allies, no restriction. Does not matter what typing they are, if they're a super or enemy type. It's just a super or extreme type, excuse me. It doesn't, it's just so good. It's so damn good. So, huge fan of this Turles unit. Shout outs to him. Shout outs to y'all for watching, and I'll catch y'all next time.